And I am gonna go ahead and start sharing my screen because, so I have called you guys today, instead of doing the normal coffee over conversions where I'm gonna be doing some ad audits. One of the things that I've noticed a lot in the space, and not just within this group, but also outside of this group, is people, like reputable sources, telling people that they shouldn't be running ads right now, that because of everything that's going on, lead costs are up and everything, that they should be pausing their advertising. Okay, now this is total BS unless the numbers say so. Okay, so I know a lot of people are freaking out. They're like, oh my gosh, my cost per lead was $5 before all of this election hoopla, now it's $7. I will tell you guys this: just because your lead costs go up doesn't mean that you are no longer profitable. And so today, what we're going to be doing is going over, one, what should your ad spend budget be? I know I get that question a lot. So we're going to leave this call absolutely knowing what our ad budget should be, what our projections are, what our KPIs are, like what is the data actually telling us? Because I'll give you guys a couple of examples before we actually get into the actual training. So I'm hearing all of these agencies and all of these gurus tell people, you guys should pause your ads until after the election, until after the holidays, because there's political ads, there's holiday ads, there's all these companies that are bidding for the same audience. But here's the thing: I have seen this over the last several weeks where people will tell someone, and they'll come to me for a second opinion, and I look into their ad data, and they're telling them, because their lead cost, one in particular that I'm thinking about right now, they shut off their ads because an agency told them that they needed to pause their ads. And because their lead costs at first were $5, and this past month their lead cost had gone up to $11, right? That's more than double the lead cost. And so they're freaking out. The agency is like, we need to pause these ads until, but what the agency hadn't done the math on is their client is profitable up to paying $20 for a lead. So literally they were shutting off ads that were majorly profitable for this client because they were so focused on the cost per lead and not the actual number that they should be focusing on, which is the value per lead. And so today we're going to be going over, what should your ad budget be? What are your projections if you spend this amount of money? What are the KPIs? How much can you afford to spend per lead? And most importantly, is it the ad that's not working, or is it your funnel that's not working? Okay, so again, starting off this training, I keep hearing agencies telling people to shut off their ads during this time right now, when ideally it's total BS for most people who are actually following that advice. And so today you're going to learn the 3 numbers that I'm always figuring out before I launch any ad campaigns at all. Okay, so what we're actually going to do is we're literally going to do some math, because the first thing that we need to figure out is, what is our goal for the next 30 days? Okay, if we're going to launch our ads, we need to be figuring out, what exactly do we want to accomplish over the next 30 days? And the math that we're going to do today is actually going to tell us whether or not that is realistic. Okay, so you guys, let's get into this. So the very first thing that I want you guys to write down right now is, what is your revenue goal over the next 30 days? If you want to run ads, what is going to be your first? Now, if you're not running ads yet, that's okay. It's important to still do this math. When you start running ads, what do you want to accomplish as far as revenue over the first 30 days? Okay, so for instance, if I want to make $30,000 with my ads course, I'm going to write down $30,000. The next thing that I want you to write down is, what is your offer price? Okay, this is gonna be simple when we start, but then it's gonna get more complicated as we go down. Okay, so our first math problem that we're gonna do today, it's not even 9 a.m. here, we're already doing some math. So first math problem is, what we want to figure out is, how many of our offers do we have to sell in order to accomplish that? Okay, so if our revenue goal is $30,000 and we have an offer price of $1,000, doing simple math here, we're going to divide 30,000 divided by 1,000. So I'm going to have to sell 30 of my offers, right? So everyone get that number? Everyone has their goal? Okay. So now that everyone has that goal, everyone know what they need to be making? Cool. Awesome. So how many leads or landing page visits do we need? This is super, super important, okay? So how do we figure this out? Now, of course, if we've never ran ads before, we're gonna have to do some benchmarks, right? Oops, I just sped right past up. Okay, so how many leads or landing page visits do we need? So here's my typical rule of thumb. Conversion rates for leads or visitors, okay? If you have something that's under $300, I usually want to see a 5% or 7% conversion rate, okay? So if your offer is under $300, we're looking for 5% to 7%, right? For instance, for my $7 offer, I'm looking for 5% to 7% of sales. So people who are hitting my landing page and viewing the landing page for my $7 offer, I want 5% to 7% of those people to buy. If my offer is over $300, I'm looking at a 1% to 2%. Now, these are just benchmarks. Like for instance, like my $7 offer converts at a much higher than 7%, but this is the least amount that we want it to convert, okay? So if you have a high ticket offer and you are bringing people in through a webinar, right? Out of the amount of people that you're bringing into that webinar, you want at least 1% to 2% of those people to buy. That's just a benchmark, okay? Now, some of you guys might have 0% people buy, but don't worry, we're gonna learn how to troubleshoot those types of numbers too at the end of this training. I'm gonna leave you no stone unturned. You guys are gonna learn everything that you guys need to know about the numbers, okay? So the second math problem that we're gonna be doing here is our number of sales divided by the sales conversion, okay? So for example, if I have an offer, if I want to have 30 sales, right? Because remember, my revenue goal is $30,000 a month. If I have a $1,000 offer, I need to sell 30 of those, okay? So the next math problem that we need to do is the amount of sales that we need to get divided by the percentage of conversion. Now, don't use the percentage sign. So in my case, if I'm looking for 2% of people to convert for my $1,000 offer, I am going to take the number 30 because that's how many offers I need to sell and divide that by 2, okay? So this is going to leave me with the number 15. But remember, we're talking percentages, so we're gonna multiply that by 100. And so I'm gonna get 1,500. So I need 1,500 leads. Like let's say, for instance, let's say I am doing a webinar to my $1,000 offer. I am going to need 1,500 leads to opt in and 2% of those leads to buy in order to hit my 30 sales goals. Does that make sense to everyone? Super, super important to know, okay? So now we have a benchmark. So now I know, okay, I need to get 1,500 people into my webinar, or I need to get 1,500 people into my lead magnet, right? So now, if I need to get 1,500 people in order to hit my sales goal, this is where the next thing that I'm gonna show you guys, this is where reality hits a lot of people. Because they're like thinking, oh, I need to hit, if I'm gonna make $30,000 in sales, I only have $1,000 in ad budget to spend. You think we're gonna get 1,500 leads with $1,000 ad spend? Most likely not, okay? Let me check the chat just to make sure everyone. So Rob asked a really good question. He says, do you always use the higher percent? I do not. I'm just using the 2% as an example. I always, honestly, with my clients, I will always go worst case scenario. That way, whenever we do better, I'm like, yeah, look, man, we like crushed our benchmarks, right? So I always give my clients like the worst case scenario. So Erica asked a good question. So we would need 1,500 leads. This is not going to count the people who actually show up for the webinar. This is just 1,500 people to sign up. Okay. And we're not just talking webinars, we're talking lead magnets. Okay. So whether I have a webinar, whether I have an ebook, whether I have a free masterclass, whether I have a video series, I need 1,500 people to give me their name and their email. And I need 2% of those people who've given me their name and email. I need them to buy in order to hit my goal. Okay. So Kevin asked, $497 offer with a 250K goal, 50 divided by 2 times. We'll get into some offers. I can't do quick math right now, Kevin, because I want to keep going. Rob says, so if you have not run ads before for a product, what percent would you recommend? The worst case scenario, 1%. If you have not run ads before, use the 1%. Okay. Does everyone have their number? Awesome. Okay, cool. Okay. So now what we're going to do, now that we have our number, now we're going to apply it to our cost per lead or landing page view, right? Some of us are running a lead magnet. Some of are running a low ticket offer, right? So here are some of the benchmarks that we want to make sure that we're hitting. Okay. So if we have a PDF guide, cold leads will run you give or take about $6 or less. That's what we're looking for. Okay. So in my case, let's say I'm running a PDF guide, I'm going to do 1,500 times $6, right? So if I do 1,500 times $6, that means I'm going to have to spend $9,000 and hope that I make my $30,000, right? But that's a pretty good return on investment, right? If I put in $9,000 into Facebook and Facebook gives me $30,000, that's very good, right? If I have a challenge, if I'm doing a challenge, you can expect $3 to $5 for a cold lead and $4 or less for warm leads. Webinars and challenges are probably your most expensive type of leads, because webinars you could see anywhere between $5 to $20 for a cold lead, depending on the niche. If it's outside of the online marketing space, you're going to see lower cost per lead. But if you're in the online marketing space, you're going to pay high. You're probably going to pay more like 8 to 25. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the number of leads that we need to have and multiply it. Now, if we're doing landing page views, okay, so let's say for my offer, I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to add this to the little sheet. And yes, I will give this, I will give this sheet to you guys after so that you guys can have something. So if we're talking landing page views, we're talking more like $1.50 to $2 per landing page view. So that's what you're going to do. Instead of doing the lead cost, you're going to do landing page views. So for those of you guys who have a low ticket offer, instead of doing the leads, you're going to do landing page views. So let's say I need 1,500 people to hit my landing page. I'm going to do 1,500 times $1.50, and that's how much traffic I can expect, right, to get that amount of sales. So whether you're doing landing page views or you're doing lead costs, does everyone follow? This is not easy stuff. Okay, awesome. So this all depends on what your funnel looks like. Rose asked, am I saying a PDF lead to $1,000 course? Yes. So we're talking about the funnel, and we're going to take a look at the funnel here in a little bit. Most of you guys have a lead magnet to a funnel, a lead magnet to a high ticket offer, or you have a low ticket offer, right? An ad running to a low ticket offer. So whether you are driving leads or traffic, we need to know how many visitors that we need in order to hit our goals. Okay. So in order to hit my goal, in my example that I gave, I have to get 1,500 leads because I'm using the example of a high ticket offer. But for those of you guys who have a low ticket offer, you're going to use landing page views instead. And right here, our benchmark for landing page views is typically $1.50 to $2. Okay. So if you need 1,500 people to visit your sales page, your low ticket offer, you're going to multiply 1,500 times $1.50 or $2. This is not, so Gina just asked, are we better off running to a high ticket offer? That is not what I'm saying at all. What I am saying is that we need to know our numbers. Like I run traffic to a low ticket offer. It just depends on how your business is set up. It depends, right? I don't run traffic to a high ticket offer. I'm profitable running traffic to a low ticket offer, my $7 program. Most of my clients in my agency, they have a high ticket offer. So we're running people to a lead magnet and then running traffic to the high ticket offer. So exactly. So it just depends. Like if you have a low ticket offer, unless you're using it as a tripwire after your lead magnet to self-liquidate it, you're gonna want to do the numbers based on that self-liquidating offer versus the lead magnet. So, okay. So now that's how we know our ad budget, right? So if we keep doing the math, the third math problem, right? Our leads or landing page views times the cost. Does everyone have their number of that? So if all things go as planned, I can spend $7,500 to make $30,000. It's pretty good, right? But what happens if our lead costs are high or our stuff's not working, right? So now what I'm going to show you guys how to do is actually how to track whether it is the lead magnet that's not working, whether it's your sales page that's not working, whether it's the ad that's not working, okay? So let's take a look at, this is what a typical funnel looks like, right? We are running our ads to our opt-in or to a sales page. Usually we have a thank you page. Some of you guys have a one-time offer, and then most of us have some type of core product, okay? So how do we know whether it is the ad that's not working or whether it's the funnel that's working, okay? So this is a little setting that a lot of people don't look at on their inside the ads manager, okay? So what we need to get from the ads manager is you're gonna toggle where it says columns performance. You're gonna wanna toggle that to something that's called performance and clicks, okay? It's right here. You don't want the performance default, you want the performance and clicks right here that's highlighted. You're going to want to look at some click-through rates, okay? So let's look at what that would look like, okay? So when we're talking about our click-through rate, that's the very first metric that we want to look at. And don't worry, I'm actually going to show you guys a real life example. And if Heather stays on, she's got some ads that she actually wants me to look at. So we're actually going to see all of this play out in real time, okay? So the first number that we look at, it doesn't matter what any of the numbers are across the funnel. The very first thing, if I am not getting my cost per lead, obviously we want to have our benchmark, right? Our cost per lead. What did we say that we want, what we're willing to pay to acquire? If I'm not hitting that cost per lead, that means likely my ad's probably not working. So how do I go and, we don't want to change the landing page until we know for sure that it's the ad and not the landing page, right? Because if we're not getting the leads, it could be the ad or it could be the landing page, okay? So now we know our numbers, right? We know one, what is our sales revenue goal? What is the cost per lead that we could expect? And what is our ad budget that should give us our revenue goals, right? So if you are putting in the math and if you want to make a $30,000 revenue, but the numbers say that you're likely only going to make $9,000 and you only have $1,000 budget, we have to go and adjust our numbers. It's not realistic for us to put in $1,000 into Facebook and expect, 30, 40,000. Like we have all these gurus that are telling us, if you take my program and you run ads, you can make, $90,000 in 3 months. But what they're not telling you is if you're going to make $90,000 in 3 months, you're probably going to spend $30,000 to $40,000 in ad spend, right? So knowing these numbers gives us realistic benchmarks And what I'm about to show you guys is how we are going to troubleshoot our way through learning what exactly isn't working inside our funnel. So now that we've got our ad spend, we've got our benchmark. So let's say our cost per lead is way high, or worse, it's not converting at all. We have to look at the numbers. And the very first number that we're looking at is the 3% click-through rate all, okay? And again, that's gonna, if you toggle performance in the columns, you're gonna toggle its performance and clicks. It's gonna show you two things. It's gonna show you the CTR all and the CTR link click-through. The very first thing that we're looking at is something called the CTR all. Don't worry, I'm gonna show you guys what that looks like in a minute. We want this to be 3%. This is calculating the percentage of people who see our ads and are stopping their scroll. If we can't get people to stop our scroll, nothing else in our funnel matters. The ad copy doesn't matter. The landing page doesn't matter. The sales page doesn't matter. Not enough people are stopping their scroll for us to even have the data to measure anything else. So the first thing we're looking for is the CTR all, okay? So if our ads are getting a CTR all, 3% or more, then the next thing we need to look at is something that's called the CTR link click through, okay? We want that to be 1%. And you guys can see that I've written down 2,000 up there. This is to remind me to tell you guys that I am not gauging or measuring anything until I have at least 2,000 impressions on my ad. So here's a good rule of thumb. This is, you guys want to know one of my little hacks? This is true to life. My wife will tell you this. Whenever I place ads for my clients, I place my ads, I wait for them to get approved, and I open up a bottle of wine and I do not look at them for 3 days. Because you know why? It will drive us crazy. Because here's the thing, Facebook needs enough data and time to be able to optimize ads. And I get this, like, students in my premium program, they'll launch an ad, then they're like texting me like 5 hours later, nothing's happening. And it's like, open up a bottle of wine, don't look at your ads for 3 days. I promise you guys, like, you're gonna get the data that you need, because this is the data that we need. This is the data that people are not like patient enough to wait for, okay? So now that we've got data, right? CTR all, you want that to be 3% or more. If you do not have CTR all numbers at 3% or more, that means that your creative or your audience is off. I will say this, most of the time, it's not our audience that's off. We most of the time know who our audience is. Most of the time, it's our creative, especially if you have some creatives that are hitting the 3% and others are not. It means that the creative is not resonating with that audience, okay? So we either, like, if we're running video ads, maybe we want to put some banners on the video that have like a big headline. If we're using photos and we're not getting their attention, maybe we want to boost up the contrast of that photo, okay? So if our CTR all is not hitting the mark, it has nothing to do with ad copy. Don't change your ad copy. People aren't even reading the ad copy because not enough people have stopped the scroll to even read the ad copy, okay? Everything begins with the CTR all, because if we can improve the CTR all, what's going to happen? Everything else on our funnel automatically improves, right? Because we're getting more people to stop the scroll, therefore getting more people to read, therefore getting more people to the landing page, okay? So the first number is we want to reach that 3%. The CTR link click through, this means the people who are reading our ad copy and then clicking over to our landing page. We want that to be 1% or more. If the CTR link click through is less than 1%, that means our ad copy is not resonating with our audience. We need to change our ad copy. Has nothing to do with the landing page. Not enough people are even getting to the landing page, right? So this is how we are inverting and learning how to troubleshoot each part of our funnel. So here's what this actually looks like. So this is one of my $7 ads. You can see CTR all, that's what it looks like. I'm getting 5%, 8%, 5.66%. And then CTR link click through, I'm getting 1.2%, 2%, 1%. So I'm hitting my KPIs, right? We want CTR all to be 3% or more, and the CTR link click through to be 1% or more. So my creative is getting their attention, my link click throughs are getting them to the sales page, and then my sales page has a really good conversion rate. So let's talk conversion rates throughout the funnel. Okay, This one right here is going to be for a lead magnet, okay? So this is what we want to look for, okay? This is what I look for with all of my agency clients. So first of all, CTR all 3%. Remember, we're not measuring until we hit that 2,000 impressions. And then we're looking at the CTR link click through. We want 1% or more, okay? Now, when we're talking lead magnets, the first metric that I'm looking for is a 25% conversion rate, okay? I want at least 25% of the people who visit my landing page to opt in, okay? Now, if on the other side of that opt-in is an application to book a call, or it's a one-time offer or something, I'm looking for at least 10% of those people to buy that one-time offer or to apply to book a call. And then I'm looking for, remember how we were talking 1%, 2% to buy our high ticket offer? Then we want at least 1 or 2% of people to buy our core product or our high ticket offer. Now, if you have a low ticket offer, what did we say earlier? From the ad to the offer, if it's less than $300, we're looking for a 5 to 7% conversion rate. Okay, so this is how we troubleshoot everything that's going on in our funnel. We're able to calculate with data what exactly is wrong. Like there's so many times I get clients like that come into my premium program and I'm doing an audit with them of their funnel and they're like, Laurel, can you help me? My landing page isn't converting, but then we look at their landing page, it's converting at like 60 something percent, but it's the next step. There's a big black hole is where people are opting in. There's a big black hole to where they're not making it to that phone call. That's what we need to fix, not your landing page for your webinar, not your landing page for your lead magnet. We need to fix the in between, whether that's the email series, whether that's our retargeting ads. And this is how we gauge what is wrong with our funnel, because I have so many people that come to me for help with ads. When their ads are converting, the numbers, the KPIs, everything's there. The traffic isn't the problem. It's the actual middle of funnel. Okay. So now we know everything that we need to know when it comes to what is our revenue goal? What are the benchmarks that we need to get there? What's wrong in our funnel? Why aren't our leads converting? Are our leads converting? Like we know every single step of the funnel. We're measuring our click-through rate at the top. We're measuring the link click-throughs. We're measuring the conversion rate between the landing page and the opt-in. We're measuring the conversion between the opt-in and the actual core product. These are all important numbers that we need to know. Okay, so and then once you have your leads that are coming in, you know how much you can spend per lead, right? Because if you know your value per lead, that's the thing. So like, let's say I have, people who are coming into a webinar, and I'll actually show you guys this because in premium, I give my students really fancy tools like this calculator that I use with my agency. So what we're looking at right now is a fancy spreadsheet. And just want to give you guys an example. So let's say I have $5,000 to spend, and here's where a lot of gurus are leading people the wrong way. This I'm going to show you guys because I wanted to visually show you guys what this actually looks like. So let's say I have a $9.97 offer and I'm spending $5,000 and my average cost per lead is $5, right? So if I'm spending $5,000, you can see right here, I'm grossing $19,000 and I'm walking away with $14,900. I'm almost walking away with $15,000. Let's say during this pandemic, my lead cost went up by $2, okay? So $5 becomes $7. Everyone would be like, whoa, turn off your ads. Lead costs are $2. Look how profitable I still am, even though my lead cost went up to by $2. I'm still walking away with 89. Okay, our lead costs were, okay, well, maybe like lead cost went up to $10. Still, I doubled the cost. I went from $5 lead to $10 lead. Look at this. I'm still profitable. But yet so many gurus are telling people, if you're getting a double cost per lead, you need to turn off your ads now. But look how much this person would be missing out on if they turned off their ads. They're still freaking profitable. And this is only front end. This is not even talking about the back end, right? That's something that I teach you guys all the time is what do our back ends, right? Most people buy on the back end anyway. Like that's why we want to have a very strong, like middle of funnel strategy. But these numbers right here are what we need to look at before we make decisions to turn off our ads. Now, of course, like, so what do we do? Okay, so let's talk about that. Like, what do we do if, let's say, we literally did, like, our lead costs doubled and we're no longer profitable? Do we turn off our ads? No. We turn off the lead gen ads, but guess what? We're going to go fix our conversion rate, right? We need to fix something else. Like, if our lead costs are too high right now, let's shift our budget and go fix middle of funnel conversions and get more middle of funnel conversions and spend a little bit more money nurturing our people middle of funnel. So it's all about learning how to do the data, learning how to do math before we start freaking out, and we need to look at all of these numbers, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to open things up. Does anyone have any quick questions? And Heather, are you still up for going through your funnel? Awesome. Heather says yes. So I'm actually, Heather, let's go ahead and bring your stuff up and we will do this. We'll do a quick ad audit with Heather and then I'll answer questions in the meantime. But Heather, while Heather's bringing up her stuff, let me give her permission to share her screen. Does anyone have any questions over everything that we've done today?
I do.
Absolutely. Hey, Yami.
How are you? So this is all fairly new to me. I guess I'm trying to understand, like, what would be considered a reasonable budget for a free opt-in?
Did you do the math? You got to do the math.
Yeah, I did. I guess
what does the math tell you? How many leads do you need in order to reach your goal?
Well, I guess maybe I'm not asking the right question. Mm-hmm. I think what I'm thinking is, I guess what I'm not doing the math right in is that I need to be thinking about the core product price, because the lead magnet itself is free. So I need to look at the cost value of the core product and not the fact that it's free and I'm just trying to do list building.
Let's back up. What is your revenue goal for the month?
I said just 2,700.
Okay, so you want to make 2,700.
Right.
Okay. So what is your offer price?
$7.
It's $7?
I just picked a number out of the air. I didn't have a real number. I was just using it I'm walking through with you. So I guess you
have a tripwire.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. So what is your offer after the $7?
Then it would be either a $67 or a $97 e-course.
Okay. And then what's at the top of the funnel?
A $597 masterclass.
Okay. So that's the number that we want to use, right?
That number. Okay. Sorry. I guess I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't picking the right number.
Yeah, no worries. So if you've got 27, if you want to make $2,700, then you want to divide that by 5.
Well, that was based on the $7. So I need to reframe that budget in the sense of, I was using the wrong numbers.
Well, that's okay. Like if you want to make $2,700
off the $7,
then what you're going to do is $2,700 divided by 7, right? $2,700.
That's $385 rather.
Okay. So you need.
I wasn't taking it far long enough. I think that was what my problem was.
No, that's okay. So let's do 385, right? Mm-hmm. And then times, you're probably going to pay about $1.50.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, I wasn't taking it far enough along with each increment of the funnel. That was my problem.
Yep, and then so 385 divided by, what is the percentage, like, since it's
under 300, so it's going to be the 1 or 2%. I'm sorry, under 300 is going to be 5 or 7%. You said on the leads. So you're going to take the.
Yep. So you need 7,000 700 visitors, right? 7,700 visitors.
Mm-hmm.
And then times $1.50. So this is where math like comes in handy. You're looking at $11,000 in ad spend. See, this is why it's important to know like that our $7 offer is our tripwire, right? I wanted to do that just so that I can see this. You have your tripwire. You're gonna lose money on the front end most of the time, but it's to liquidate our ad spend so that we can make money on the back end, right? Because $11,550 sounds like a lot for a $7 offer, but we're not even counting the $597 yet.
And that's where I think that's what was throwing me off, is I wasn't taking it far enough down the road of the funnel itself and doing each aspect of the funnel and its cost value.
Yep.
If I'm saying it right, but okay.
Yep. No, that's a really good question. That's why I like to go over the math. It's like, does the math make sense? Like if someone's running a lead, like a lot of people do this, they'll run a lead magnet and then they'll have like a $7 offer and they won't have anything else. And it's like, you're not going to run profitable ads. Like a lot of people, they want to run like a book funnel, but they're not selling anything other than the book. Book funnels will cost you're probably about $60 per $7 sale. But a lot of people do them because they're super profitable on the back end. And so that's why it's important to know these numbers, because people go into Facebook ads, oh, I'm going to make a lot of money with a $7 offer. No.
So in my case, I'm so focused on nurturing right now because I'm new and building and list building itself. So looking at low ticket offers for free lead magnets to just to do just lead gen. It's more of an investment, and I get that because I want to bring them into a Facebook group. So to do the funnel through the Facebook group. So in my case, I have a couple of different lead magnets that are free in order to nurture them and in order to get the lead, like, know and trust factor going in order to take them through. So in that case, that's why I'm trying to think about, okay, but what would be considered a reasonable amount of investment to take them through that, knowing what the end game is.
Yeah, just know that you're going to spend, like for a lead magnet, you're going to probably spend between, depending on the audience, you could spend anywhere between $3 to $8 for a PDF.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank
you.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
I have a quick question, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does this equation work for like local, like obviously like chiropractors? Like they have an initial offer, like one of mine is $39, but their back end is like $8.99. Is this the same equations that we would look at when it's a local?
So this is where they need to know their value per customer, right? Value per person that walks in the door. Then you know how much you can pay to acquire that lead. So this is some benchmarks to know. And this is something that if we're running ads for businesses, we need to at least know the benchmarks, right? What is the value for us to get someone in their door, typically? And so these are some benchmarks, because we can spend $10 to get someone in the door. We could spend $200 to get someone in the door. So it really depends on what and that's what we have to know. And I know a lot of people are asking like the percentages. What is the 10%, that I was talking about? So if we go back and we go back to the little funnel thing that I was showing you guys right here. This is what an entire funnel looks like, right? Most people, they have like an opt-in page or a sales page, right? The 10%. So let's do this. Let's go one step back. So we want 25% of the people who click through to our ad and land on our landing page, which could be a lead magnet, or it could be a sales page landing page if we have a self-liquidating offer, right? A lander can be a free offer, a landing page can be sales page. It's just language, right? We want 25% of the people who land on an opt-in, that is a freebie, 25% of those people to opt in. If you have a low ticket offer, but under $300, we want 5 to 7% of those people instead of 25% at that first one, okay? Now, the 10% and the 2%, so out of the people, let's use a webinar example. So if I want at least 25% of the people who visit my webinar opt-in page to opt into the webinar, okay? Let's say on the thank you page, there's a one-time offer for an upsell, right? We want 10% of the people who opted into the webinar to take us up on that OTO. Or if it's a lead magnet and you have like a $7 offer, like in Yami's case, right? She wants 25% of people to opt into her freebie, and 10% of those people who opt in to buy the $7 offer. And then her core offer, right, is, let's see, $5.97. So she would want 2% or of people to buy her $5.97 offer. So this is how Yami's offer would play out in funnel, as a funnel, right? So this is what we need to know. Like, some of you guys might not have that OTO. Some of you guys might just have an opt-in that goes straight to a core product. But this is where we need to get very familiar with what our funnel looks like and what conversion rates we're looking for. So initially, we want 10% of our audience to buy our upsells, and we want 2% of people to buy our core offer. I was listening to, a Dan Henry podcast the other day, and he was like, and it was so true. He was like, I only need 1% of my audience to buy my offer to be a multimillionaire. It's awesome when you could just sit down and, and figure out the math. Like, a lot of people think I'm crazy because, like, I can pay up to $300 to acquire a $7 member because I know what my value per $7 member is. When I do the numbers throughout my entire funnel, from my $7 program to my 90-day program to my $197 program, you guys are worth each like over $300 to me. So I can spend up to $300 to acquire a $7 customer. I don't.
Laurel, did you cover the fact about whether, I know the ad copy was mentioned, but what about the email sequencing?
This is not counting any email sequencing. This is just knowing our numbers when it comes to knowing our ad budget and how to fix what's wrong. Like you mentioned, email sequence, that's where we figure out, okay, only like if we're not getting that 10%, right? The 10%
in between
going over. So if we look at this map again, right?
Yeah.
If we're not getting that 10% conversion rate between the opt-in and the OTO, thank you. What we're going to do is we're going to look at our retargeting sequence. We're going to look at our lead magnet, and we're going to look at our email sequence. Why are 10% of people not buying? So that's where our email sequence and middle of funnel strategies come into play.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no, that's a really, really great question. I'm so glad that we're doing this today, because like I said, I have been seeing so much bad advice going on, like even like it, like not only like within like the $7 group, but like within like just the entire Facebook ads world. I'm like, oh my gosh, no, we need to learn our numbers before we learn, whether or not to kill ads. So Raj, is there a no way through sell low cost offers if you do not have a funnel to higher offers through Facebook ads? I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that, but if you're selling low ticket offers only utilizing Facebook ads, you're not going to be very profitable. I'm just going to be, unless you have a following like that you've built up with me. Like now I'm at that point where I could sell a bunch of low ticket offers because I already have an organic audience, but can you afford to pay? If you only have low ticket offers, are you going to be able to pay? Like, remember when we did the numbers for Yami just now, she would have to spend $11,000 to make $2,700. Like sometimes Facebook advertising does not make sense. There are plenty of people that come to me wanting me to run their Facebook ads, and all they have is a book to sell. And I'm like, you're not going to be profitable if you don't have anything else to sell.
Mm-hmm.
Laurel.
Yep.
Hi. I have a question about like your diagram that you had there with regards to the 23 or 25%, whatever it was. Is that, so your 3% click through is from the ad to the landing page, and then?
No. Your 3% click through rate all is your people who are stopping the scroll. Okay. You want 3% of people to stop the scroll, 1% to read the ad copy and click to the ad. You want 25% at least, and these numbers could all be tweaked, right? This is just a starting point. And you want 25% of people to opt into your lead magnet.
Okay. Thanks for that.
So Denise says, what if you have a seasonal business? It doesn't matter whether you have a seasonal business or not. You still, you need to do the math that we did in this exercise. That's how you're going to calculate. And some of the things that you also, Denise, will have to calculate is your peaks and your valleys. Like, especially because I've got a couple of tax clients that I run ads for, and we're able to identify, okay, during tax season, we're going to sell a lot of we're going to get a lot of applications for calls. So the rest of the season, we're focusing on other nurture sequences outside of tax season that's making like tax planning, like courses and stuff like that. But then during tax season, we're running ads to their actual service.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. But it's always good to know those numbers, right? Because Denise, think about this. If you know that you can pay X amount to acquire a lead in January, right? Then you know the amount of ad spend that you're going to need for those 3 months versus, and then once you're out of your tax season, then you're going to reevaluate, what am I giving away in between there that's going to fill my business up until the next tax season again? Like, is it lead magnets? Is it something, right?
Right.
So
okay.
We have to look at the entire funnel, especially with seasonal visits, because we have to know we're going to make a ton of money in quarter 1 and quarter 2. And then quarter 3 and quarter 4 are investing months where we know that the money that we're going to invest during those months is going to come tenfold in quarter 1 and quarter 2.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Thank you.
Good morning, Laura. I have a question.
Absolutely.
So how do those numbers stack up when you compare that to running a different type of ad? Because I've been doing a lot of messenger bot ads, and I wanted to know, do you have any kind of metrics for what those numbers should be? Because the funnel is not a landing page. The funnel is the messenger sequence.
So you're going to do you're going to do everything exactly the same, except you're going to plug in the strategy that you're doing.
Got it.
You still want open, right? Instead of click-through rates, you might be measuring open rates.
Got it.
Whatever it takes to get the revenue goal. We have to, like, it doesn't matter, like, whether it's a sales page, whether it's a landing page, whether it's a bot, we have to know the numbers of people. Like, if you know your numbers of how many people that actually engage with the bot and go through the bot process, those are your conversion rates that you're going to work at. So we really need to understand what those numbers are and benchmark. If your bot needs to talk to 100 people, then that's where you factor in, out of those 100 people, how many of those are actually going to buy that offer.
Got it.
Yep, it's a very good, very, very good question.
Thank you.
So Rose says, this is a really good question. What do you do if you don't have $11,000 to invest? Then what you need to do is you need to refigure the numbers until you get the number that you're comfortable with spending. And this is something that I always tell people. Whatever you set aside for this first month, you have to be okay with not making a dime back from it. If you are not willing to put in the money to test, then Facebook advertising is not for you. Like, there is no magic button. There is no magic guarantee. Like, if you cannot afford, like, if you set your goal for 30,000 and you can't spend the 11,000 to get there, then what we need to do is we need to cut our goal back until that number, like, let's say in Rose's case, if $30,000, if $11,000 is not going to work, then we need to maybe cut that back and be like, okay, you know what? For the first month, I'm going to try to make 10,000 and I'm going to spend 2,000. But we have to be okay with not ever seeing that $2,000 again. That's total transparency. Whatever this is testing, right? Mm-hmm. We have to know these numbers. We have to know these benchmarks in order, because if we don't try and we don't put this money out, we're never going to get where we are. We have to be all in when it comes to marketing our business, and we have to be okay with losing money.
Laurel, what was the minimum, the 2K that you had in the circle to remind yourself? What was that for, the 2,000?
I'm not making any like changes to any ads until it has 2,000 impressions. Okay, I missed the word. Yep, absolutely. Heather, do you want to pull your ads up, and then we can actually take a look at a real account?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Thank you, by the way, for volunteering to do this.
Oh, thank you for letting me. Okay, here's the ad sets that are currently running.
Okay.
And we're running. I actually turned them off because
tell me a little bit. Let's back up. What is it? What is your offer? How much is your offer?
Okay, so my offer is for it's called Visible Agent Inspiration Bank. And it's basically a Trello board with over 500 content prompts so that a real estate agent, my target, a real estate agent could create their social media posts, their blog content, all of the content that they need to do to get business from their sphere of influence. They could turn it into ads. It's just like the foundation content. And that is for sale for $47.
Okay.
And
what is it converting at right now? What is your conversion rate between the landing page visits and people who are buying?
well, I've had 4 sales. So this says 7, which is incorrect because 2 were counted on 2 different ads twice. So it was a double pixel, and 1 was me because I wasn't getting any sales, and I thought, oh my God, is this not working? So I had to test the funnel. So I've actually had 4 real life people purchase this.
Okay, and how many landing page views? Not link clicks, because link clicks sometimes that won't, like, how many like true landing page views?
Would that show here on the ad?
It should show up in your you can track landing page views here, but I would probably look at the landing page views inside your sales page, just so that we have a more accurate number. So how many people visited your sales page?
Yeah, so that is, and I don't know why, but it's kind of set up in, like, apparently Facebook ads have different links or whatever. So what's that? 120, 134, 146-ish.
146?
It's probably more than that, but
We'll
I'd have to go through.
So 4 divided by 146 times 100. So you've got a 2%. So you've got a low, pretty low, right? 2.7 conversion rate. But here's the thing. Yes, she's only got a 2.7 sales conversion rate. But does anyone see where we would start the troubleshooting first? What is the very first number that I tell you guys? Like, yes, her conversion rate's wrong, but can we likely say that it's her sales page? Where does the funnel all begin? It all begins with getting people to stop the scroll. And this number right here, the CTR all, we want this to be 3% or more. So we can't with fair numbers or data say that her sales page isn't converting. We're not getting enough people to stop their scroll to even look at the ad, which the ad click-through rate's a little low too. I'm seeing 1%. I'm seeing one of them, but one is 0.30, 0.31. So some ad copy there needs to be fixed. The 0.93, it's close to 1. I'll take that, but it all begins with that CTR all. So what I would recommend for Heather, until we change anything else, is I would change creative and try to get more people's attention so that we can stop the scroll.
One question I had for you was about audience. So, my actual conversion rate, it's possible it's better than what it appears because I screwed up on my first set of ads and had them running to the United States of America with no targeting. I don't even know how that happened, but it did. So I shut those off, of course, and then started with a short copy and a long copy ad. And then after we spoke in the Facebook group the other day, I went with these, I changed the creative in them to be, a little bit more catchy, meme-like. But I wonder if in my audience, there's like 2 million real estate agents in the United States. And, how do I, sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
There's noise happening upstairs. So Detective Murphy is on the case. So I've got all these interests that are, a lot of these, I know that these interests are absolutely my target. I threw in some employers because why not, and then the job title, some of these work well. In the past, I haven't used this many, but I was also thinking, why not? And then I had these 2 and must also match for the, to narrow the audience. And so the potential reach is 1.5 million people. And I feel like that somehow I think it's getting the wrong people in because I've never really been able to get an audience that big before. And I wonder if that has like, I don't know, what do you
Sorry,
think?
my
about
dog
this?
is howling because it heard your dog.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
It's funny. So why do you think it's not reaching the right audience?
Well, I think the audience is too big actually, because there's only 2 million real estate agents in the United States. And so how am I
I
somehow
wouldn't say that
reaching-
it's too big. I love the bigger the audience, the more data points that Facebook has to look. I would not trim this down anymore. I will say this, I run some ads for some real estate events and it's very, very similar. The only different thing that I do that I see here, but I could see how this would work too, is I have it like, you see how you have like Tom Ferry and real estate and everything. I do like a layered between the two. So instead of bunching them up into one, I will layer them on top of each other. So I'll like cut your first one in half, put that, and then also must match then the bottom half. And
Okay.
then I would probably even take out like Canva, social media. I would probably go a little bit more broad. That's just me testing. I wouldn't like tell you that's what you should do. I would just create another ad set that maybe like layered the two a little bit more.
Okay.
But other than that, I don't think your audience is off. I think that your audience just isn't resonating because I'm looking at your audience. I run ads for real estate agents all the time, and it's pretty similar to what I would do. I would say let's test more creatives to see if we can get that CTR all up.
Okay.
And Heather, I have about 3 real estate clients, so I would love to see your landing page and maybe have them buy your offer. So please put it in the chat.
Do that with you right here.
Yeah, put it in the Zoom chat.
I will do that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Heather. Did everyone understand why I was giving the advice that I did along with this lesson?
Yes.
Awesome. Man, I think this was a really awesome training. Thank you guys for showing up and giving me the opportunity, because I really think that this is something that everyone in this group needs to figure out.
Laurel,
So-
thank you so much. I appreciate your time looking at that with me.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Can you guys do me a favor? Like, as soon as this training is over, can you guys just go post some love inside the Facebook group about this training today? Because I'm going to send it out, and I just want to make sure that everyone sees it, because I get so many people who want me to audit their ads and look at stuff. And I think that once we understand the numbers, I think that it makes so much more sense for people to actually like have confidence enough to say, okay, I know what's wrong with my ads now, Laurel, help me fix the strategy, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, I hope that you have an amazing day. And yes, you could post follow-up questions. Remember to look for the 10 on T post. I posted the one for Thursday because we're not going to have one tomorrow since we had this live training today. But make sure that you're looking for the 10 on T post. And I will also post the Google Doc that I used in today's training below this training. I'm going to put this training in y'all's training portal for you guys so that everyone has access to it. And then I'll post the document with it as well. Awesome. Yeah, you guys are very welcome. I'll post the document for you guys underneath the training. Awesome.
Always giving amazing value, Laurel. Appreciate you so much.
Oh my gosh, no, of course. That's what I'm here for. Like, you know, that's what I created this group for. I want all of you guys to rock and roll with your Facebook ads, because here's the thing, Facebook advertising can be complicated, but as long as I'm arming you guys with this type of information to where you guys can confidently say, okay, something's not working, and know how to fix it, that's the most important thing, right? Because as long as we're like throwing out, like, my ad strategy is so easy. I literally, like, for my $7 offer, I just like literally throw out power content, have a sell at the end. And I know, just reading the metrics, just like what I showed you guys, you know, people are resonating with this piece of content. And I will say this, 9 out of 10 pieces of my content suck. Like, I kill them. But it's like a lot of people, they'll throw out 1 or 2 ads, but it's like, I'll end the training with this. If we were in my office right now and I gave you guys my basketball, right? Because I've got my free throw line in there, right? My basketball goal. If I lined all of you guys up at my free throw line and I threw you my basketball and I said, I will give you $1,000 for every basket that you make, would you only shoot the ball 1 time? Nah, dude, you guys would be like, give me the ball, right? You guys would probably like shoot the basket till your arms fell off. That's how you need to think about Facebook advertising. 9 out of the 10 ads that we're going to launch are going to fail. not enough people are talking about that. And so we want to make sure that it's equivalent. Like the more ads that we throw out there, the more winners we're going to have, right? The more baskets we shoot, the more chances we have of making it in the hoop and making more money. So that's how we have to look at Facebook advertising. We have to give Facebook as many options as possible, kill the losers. Once they get the 2,000 impressions, they're not winning, kill them, try some new stuff on a consistent basis. Every single week, I'm testing 4 to 5 new ads for my $7 offer every single week. You guys probably just think it's new content, but it's really just it's ads that have like a sell at the end. Oh, anyway, it is time for another cup of coffee, guys. Hope you guys have an amazing day. I will put this training in the back office. I will also email it out to you guys with the cheat sheet as well. So check your email. But I will see you guys on the 10 on Thursday call. Hope you guys have an amazing day.
Have a good day. Bye.
Laura,
Bye.
quick question before you go. Laura, quick question.
Yeah, absolutely. And Heather, I see your quick question too. Let me
You
get
answered it.
Martin. Oh, okay. Jamar, what's up?
So do you happen to have any slots available for the premium?
I actually do.
All right, I'm ready. I have 5 clients now, so I'm ready to get in there because I want to make sure I'm giving them the best service possible. So is there a link that I can go to, or do I just go in there?
Hit me up in the DM. I got a couple of questions first, but then
Yep,
I'll send you the
sounds
link.
good.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. All right.
Yeah, you guys have an amazing day.